Alright, what's up y'all, it's LakerFan here. As it's about title today's video, here to show you how to play elite on-ball defense in NBA 2K26. This video is specifically for 5s, to be fair. Now, I've also made a video very similar to this for 3s, how to irritate the small guards of the world and stuff like that, but in this video, as you can see, we're going against a player who's averaging 23 and 8, and then his teammate, for that matter as well, is averaging 48 points per game, and this is like a 47.9, so I don't even want to know, like, I mean, it's probably accumulation of probably at least 5 to 10 games, something like that, but that's pretty crazy right there. Now, we're going to be playing the on-ball defense here. Now, to be fair, I want to preface this video a little bit with the fact that Woff right here is our elite on-ball defender. As you can see, he's got 96 perimeter, 93 blocks, so we allowed him to still guard this player right here. I will be guarding the point guard, and I want to show you how being a little bit of a traffic cone of just like standing somewhere and stopping the player from moving to that exact area can literally set your whole defense up to play good in this game. So let's get straight into the video. I hope y'all enjoy. If you do, feel free to drop a like, sub if you're new, turn on noties, all good stuff, and like always, try this one to 1,000 likes. I'll let the intros play out real quick just so you can get an idea for what the whole team looks like. Like I said, they had the 1 and the 2 were the primary scorers. They still have like a couple decent options on the like 3 through 5, but not nearly as much scoring at all. And then most specifically, their center right here, as you can see, 7 foot, 97 O-board, 95 strength, high pass act, the rebounding and stuff like that high as well, the standing dunk, and he is a pure inside as well. So a little bit of a different case. I will say though, everything that I do here can be still translated to him being a popper. We could still switch everything in every instance that you see me like get beat on the screen or something like that. Doesn't really matter too much whether he's an inside or not. Okay, real quick, I do want to give you some guidelines though for what you're going to be seeing in today's video of what I'm trying to do intentionally, and a lot of it is going to be this force middle ideology right here. We're going to be forcing them into the help defenders where the rest of my team essentially is, and doing it early for that matter too. We'll talk about that in just a second, but arrow control is going to be important if you're someone who plays solo rec. If you're a lockdown at the 3 and the other team clearly has someone on their team that is by far the best player and you need to be on them to shut them down, hitting your right bumper or R1 and then their icon will allow you to switch to them as far as your defensive matchup, and it should save for the majority of the game, if not permanently in general. And trust me bro, if there is a traffic cone at the 3 and you're switching with your point guard who doesn't have good defense, I'm sure that point guard is going to have no issue guarding that guy at the 3. That is a traffic cone. If they're running the offense on the other side of the court, I'm sure they don't want the mental fortitude of like having to guard ball as well. Or, you know, hopefully they're at least willing to. If they are not budging on that and just sticking their man no matter what, obviously you're gonna have to deal with it. But I'm trying to give you one solid suggestion for the random rec, just to be able to make that type of maneuver if you are a pure lockdown at the 3, yet you want to guard the 1. Right bumper or R1 and then hitting their icon, whether that's A or square or X, whatever it is for PlayStation. Anyway, point being, arrow control, really important to keep in mind. So we have those two things. Willingness to switch is important for random rec as well, but however, with a full team, the willingness to call rotations as the on-ball defender, in my opinion, is the major key way to play defense in 2K. I have never preferred it to be the backside defender to be the one calling the rotates. As the on-ball, you have all the power to control where that point guard goes and funnel them into the spots that you can send rotates. We will make another video later in the year of like breaking down all the comp pro-am rotations and stuff like that. You're going to see a couple in today's video, but it's nothing super crazy or anything like that, but there will be a couple cases. Discussion on when to hold left trigger or right stick up. We will be talking about this as well for just me and my personal takes of when I do it on defense. You'll hear a lot of people talk about never touching LT, rarely touching their right stick up, only doing when they want to contest shots. I'm a little bit different. I'm not quite as in that conservative kind of point of view. I like to do this a lot more than others do. And then lastly, as the final tip that we have, is what to do as a defense if you need to double slash send more help to somebody, because there is truly just a menace at that 1 spot or at that 2 spot, whatever the case may be. Now, what I do want to also show you real quick, and we're just going to speed run this one, is showing you the build that I'm working with on this gameplay. The video that you're going to see, I was like brand new on the build. It was brown banner and all that. I promise I don't be doing that banner nonsense. So it truly was me on the beginning of the build. And as you can see, like, this is where I'm at right now. So it was a bit older of a gameplay, but all of my ideologies and like, you know, the kind of stuff that I want to approach with the gameplay and how I would play defense, that's exactly what you're seeing. And then these are the badges that I'd be running as well for the +1s, +2s. I considered making a separate video on these, but I figured I just wanted to show you guys this, and it doesn't need to have its own separate title. So this is what we're looking at right now. Give or take, some of these, you know, tier 1 slots might change, like, you know, set shot being lower and handles for days being higher, especially in that gameplay. But anyway, let's get straight into this. Alright, so what you're going to see in today's vid, I have cut up this rec gameplay to be down to 15 minutes, and we are just going to allow you to see mainly just the defense or some final seconds of the offensive possession, just so you can see what led to them scoring. So for instance, I'm not trying to throw my teammates under the bus when I show them miss a shot, but you know, Kitchen missing into the fast break 3 right there from their shooting guard is how that shooting guard gets 3 points. So naturally, because he scores around 48, I'm sure he's a break runner, and we kind of make note of that as well. Now, I'm going to start you off defensively, showing you kind of just that I like to set up that funnel right there, and also you might think of this as bad defense, but also that is truly just getting in the way of the dunk meter, and the dude going up with the meter makes that miss, you know. It is what it is. So it truly is good defense. I don't like it. I'm a slasher. I don't like that that's good defense, but it is what it is. Anyway, I'm going to start off with the defense a tad bit, not really explaining things too much, because I want you to see the feeling process right here of like figuring them out a little bit. And as you can see, I low-key send the extra help D once I've then switched down to the big man right there. And then since Salt gets broke, I end up going back up. Now, right here, I break my own rule, and as you can see, I put in the cut up right here, remember this bucket. I want you to keep in mind what I'm doing wrong here. I am on his left, forcing him to the corner. Granted, some lockdowns can do this and they do it well, but I feel like I have played all the spots on defense in, you know, constant years of playing Pro-Am. And when I'm in this spot specifically of the back end, I find it's extremely hard to be a help defender when my teammate is cutting off the middle and forcing them to this direction. Now, if you don't have someone who can rotate in this corner, it's even harder, because then you can't just be like, okay, I'm gonna hedge your wing right here and then, you know, rotate over to the corner and let you as the corner guy drop. If that is someone who isn't as rotatable or anything like that, it's even more impossible to play back end help D in that spot, because if you step to show any help in this spot and the big man rolls, you now no longer can go anywhere. You can't really even like help. You'd have to have your teammate funnel and run a stack rotation instead, essentially, if you helped high and this guy can't rotate. So point being, I don't like this no middle defense. I prefer to push them to the middle. I want them to run to the middle. So as you can see right there, I overreact on his middle run, not trusting that I would have had help from Salt or like a hash pinch from Waff right there, whatever the case may be, and it leads to me getting midi front faded because Salt is too low, but that's not expecting him to even be in that spot. Anyway, remember that bucket. Remember that he scored 2 points on that. I just want to keep that in mind. So anyway, a lot of defensive adjustments now are going to be made. As you're going to see, I'm cutting that right side off early. This is what I mean by early. Do not just sit here and be like, oh, well, once he gets over to this hash, now I'm gonna like take away his right and force him middle. The problem with that type of defense would be that you've now allowed him to have all of this room to be able to work. He has taken space right here and is now able to move all the way from here to all the way here. Now, if I were to cut this off early and not let him get to the right of me, as you can see, I'm creating a wall that makes him operate on one half of the court if we split that basket in half. And now he's going to have to operate in a tight little phone booth where I've now sealed him in to where Waff can be my help defender, Dre can be Waff's help defender playing that 2-on-1, Salt can sit low because he knows he doesn't have to help anywhere except for maybe to the left, and even if I'm playing this right and we can depend on Waff and Dre to be that kind of wing pinch right here instead, we can just allow Salt to sit entirely low and just play the, you know, paint defense and stuff like that. And as you can see, these dudes, they really want to get over here. As you can see, I'm taking that right side away over and over again. Unfortunately, the way I play defense in this game sometimes does lead to, as you can see, blocking fouls, getting blocking fouls on what could have been illegal screens, stuff like that as well. Now right here, as you can see, this is willingness to switch or willingness to rotate. To be fair, I could have easily got down to this myself, but I already called a triangle to kitchen right here, so I wanted to commit to the call. Ideally, in a perfect world where your defense is kind of more fluid and willing to actually just like play the, you know, situational look on everything, you would prefer to just allow me to take something like that. But again, I don't have the greatest interior defense on this build, so chasing in a situation like that probably isn't the greatest look. But as you can see, the willingness to rotate allowed me to have Salt as a help defender to my middle extremely hard right here, and what that does is allow him to have all the confidence to play this point guard in the middle. So when I call a triangle, that means Salt no longer should care at all what happens to the big man at all. He's going to be stepping up to the middle and playing this guard no matter what. And as you can see, the guard doesn't expect it. Boom, hand in his face, terrible shot, kitchen down for the box out and the rebound, and then boom, there we go, snagging the board. Now, I will still try and have a lot of parts of this video that are going to help you guys if you're in random rec, because I understand that you can't call rotates. Just understand that like not everything in this video is meant to be shown for just specifically one style of play. There's a lot that could be talked about. Right here I'm trying to trap. I don't really have the trapper stuff all figured out. Then Dre gives up a backdoor. It's okay. We're not here to knock everybody for the points they give up. I just want to show you how they were scoring the points so that you know what to judge and what not to judge. Now, this right here, a little bit OD, if you ask me. I don't think we should be holding a trapper for that long, but if there is a blind shooting guard or someone that's just constantly fading and doing all types of nut stuff, I think you can get away with stuff like this. Now, to be fair, I don't think it should be Dre helping in this case. Now, in 2K26, where you have pretty much everybody on the court that can actually still play help defense and paint defense, because realistically, there's a lot of people that are 6'8 plus. Me, as a 60 interior defense and 74 block build, can still play good paint defense, in my opinion. So if I were in a spot like this, I could still rotate down. I think when you go for double teams, you should never ever do it from the triangle side. I don't think we should ever put Dre in this 2-on-1 off corner and paint. I think it needs to be me and Kitchen playing this type of defense right here, because I don't like one guy having to hold two. It's just a really bad style of defense, if you ask me. So I think we get away with one right here, and as you can see, instead Dre baits it and goes back to the corner while I kind of swing around over here, and Kitchen would have been ready to go. So I think that's much more the way you want to go about things, and this applies to you if you're playing with randoms as well. Do not help off the empty side or the single side corner, bro. It's like the worst thing you could ever do. You're gonna get dotted 24/7. It's not a good look, because again, if you were dropping to play the help defense right here, are the easiest dot in the world, because what's gonna happen? Waff's gonna peel all the way off the ball right here and go all the way to the corner on that triangle rotation. I don't like it as an instinctive drop. I think that needs to be a premeditated call if you were ever going to do it. So if you are in a situation like this where the opposite team on rec is running a 4-out-1 in, you don't have comms with your team or anything like that, don't be dropping off this solo side corner right here. You want to do it off the double right here with the hash and corner duoed up, where, like, again, Kitchen can play better bait off that corner into the paint D. I can play better bait off the hash into the corner and stuff like that. But as you can see, the trap does work out. So, you know, good ball out of us. I mean, it does obviously still work out. Right here, you can see Salt's a little bit low on the press, so I just allow him to play it, and I drop back and play the big man instead. So we get set up in a different defense. Right here, as you can see, Waff ends up on ball. We're getting me a little bit high, but I'm still able to drop back. Off this double spot upside right here that ends up wrapping eventually. The guard ends up getting a little bit too close to Kitchen. He plays good help defense. Boom, there we go. Solid defense. Obviously, that's not really me included too much. Boom, you can see. I wanted to still show these because, like I said, it's explaining how the shooting guard gets some buckets. I get a turnover off the guy's body. He gets out on the break. Dre misses a hash 3. Guy gets out on the break again. I mean, this is something to still be discussed 100%, and I'll let the gameplay play out just because I don't want to make this video too long. But it is a discussion I want to have of, like, clean half-court offense can lead to you playing good defense, because it truly is what stalls the team out from getting easy buckets. So you getting the ball through the hoop is important in regards to actually just, you know, stopping the other team from scoring. So let's talk about this defensive possession right here. I want to kind of take this from the top and explain my thought process once again, and it explains even further into why forcing the middle is great defense. So early, I'm taking away that right again, but to be fair, I get hit with an ankle breaker, so my ability to do so kind of gets limited. Now, you force them into this middle right here, and this is almost even further than the middle. We're already past middle. This dude's all the way across like the whole hash, and this is getting pinched right here really hard. This is like a shell of like a 2-3 essentially, that I'm taking that right side and forcing him hard into my help D wing. Now, good point guards or good shooting guards will see something like this and call a wrap. Exactly, right? Now here's the thing. Willingness to switch. If we come back to that discussion I had with the little notes and stuff, willingness to switch is very important. Hopefully, if you're playing with rec randoms, your teammates are willing to understand, like, very basic basketball principles of this, of I have guy on right, I peel off, boom, that means Waff on ball. Like, that's not the hardest thing in the world if you ask me, but some people do struggle with it. But again, to just kind of run that back, my willingness to switch right here makes it easier on me and Waff. I don't have to fight through this BS, and Waff doesn't have to fight through the whole muck of everything, either of like a guy in the middle would have had to run across, we'd have to run through each other and stuff like that. This is an easy switch, simple, and playing left, right, and low is kind of the right way to play it. I'll explain later in the video the terminologies and stuff like that I'd like to start implementing for my team, but still don't even have down yet, to be honest. But as you can see right there, Salt sits low, I take right, Waff takes left. Easy, solid switch. It makes it easier on Waff, it makes it easier on me. And again, it all stems off the fact that I force him middle and get him like with a much smaller court to work with. I don't know what's up with the flop right there, to be real with you, but anyway, it's whatever. It's not like it's the biggest deal. I will say though, ball ends up out of point guard's hands. It's hard to really get it back in sometimes. I mean, it truly, like, when the ball leaves your hands as a PG, sometimes these dudes just be doing stuff like off ball, and like you don't get that thing back, and even though you're trying to be the floor general, they just completely take the ball out of your hands at that point. So forcing that ball out of his hands can be good sometimes. I will say though, right here, not great defense. Salt ends up kind of staying up on the press a little bit too long with the double. Center ends up slipping. Kitchen, once again, as I was just telling y'all, drops off that solo side corner. Super super dotable. Never. I'm telling y'all, it's the worst thing you can do in this game defensively. There's so many miscues, and I know I was saying I'm not throwing my team under the bus, but I do want to talk about this one because it truly is just terrible execution defensively. So, coming out right here, I'm playing on ball. Salt is obviously supposed to be taking the center, but then he gets stuck up here, trapping too long. Then Kitchen, again, off that solo side corner, tries to be like, I'm not going to call it be the hero. I'm not trying to diss him that hard. It's just like, you get what I'm saying, right? You can't make plays like this. It's a short pass from left wing to left corner. It's the easiest pass in the game to make, and you're making it even easier off the fact that you're trying to show that you're going to be the guy to drop, when really, this would be a hard pass to make. You're going all the way from left wing to right wing or right corner, and one guy can play two pretty easily in a spot like this. Whereas then Dre can still play the paint in corner a little bit easier as well, because once again, it's the further pass, and it's two people to be able to help off of instead of one. So, long story short, don't like that. Now, Kitchen ends up getting back, gets an 8% contest. The dude makes the early. It's like blah, 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 whatever. They screwed up some things with that as well. But again, those same principles can apply to you if you're playing with the randoms as well. Don't help off that single side corner, man. I'm telling you, it's just a terrible habit. So right here, once again, and you can see I'm walling him off. He is not getting right. I've already got a bump on him. He's still trying to get over right. He still can't get it. Now off the wrap, if they were to do it, we're ready to switch. He sends the cut. They need something to help to bail him out. They can't get anything, bro. They either have to call wraps or they're going to have to call something, but like you can't get out of that cage once you get put in it. Like truly, if I'm taken away and I can identify, as you can see, boom, hash is going right here. That's the big identification process. You need to be a little bit more cerebral to play this style of defense, but it's not hard by any means. I'm seeing where the hash is right here. I'm watching the hash more than I'm watching my on ball, because truly, this guy right here decides where I'm playing defense. And right now, since he's going right, I'm going left. It's as simple as that. So take that left away, force him straight into his teammate. As you can see, I'm kind of caging him in once again. And as you can see, I'm still holding my hand up in a lot of these cases, because I understand that when I'm playing that left and right, that it's that much easier for me to just like kind of seal him in. Now, I will say, my thought process right here low-key gets cooked. Like, this different elevation stuff that he ends up getting me on, just off the fact that he gets a bump, like I get a bump animation on this, kind of cooks the way I want to play defense. Now, if you want to, this is more for complex team talk right here. It's not going to be easy for like, so just understand, once again, I'm not talking to the random like rec kind of connoisseurs or anything like that. This is a lot more for team basketball right here. I want to mention it though, because it's very important. There's some terminologies I want to start adding to my team, whether it's, I'm going to maybe say zone it, like zone 2-3 style, where like if I were higher right here, and what I just showed y'all with me and Waff siding the 1 and 2 kind of point guard, shooting guard and stuff like that, we would just take left, right of the 1 and 2. In this case, I don't think I can do that. I'm way too low. I'm stuck on the body up, and I think this one I want to call fluid for my team. I want it to be a fluid switch between all three of us, where Salt can then step up to the hash, wrapping across, since no one else is going to be able to get there. And then whoever was middlemost, it's almost like a left, right, middle kind of concept, essentially, is what I'm saying, where since I get stuck in the middle spot right here, Salt could take leftmost, I take middlemost, Waff take rightmost right here, and kind of three-man switch it. So since Salt is back here, it's not going to work out quite as much. And again, I just get stuck on ball in the 2-guard with a good wrap, good ability to get open off ball. You can see they just cook us right there. So I want to have a couple different terminologies that I start implementing into my team a little bit. And I think 2-3 versus fluid would probably be the call, essentially, because I want fluid to be like all three people switch, and I want like 2-3 to be like me and the hashes switch, but then like, you know, not do it with the back end. I want the back end sitting low. Right here, I get cooked off on ball a little bit. I mean, he ends up breaking my ankles once, and boom, like we just keep Salt low because we don't want to give him any free buckets. So I don't know if that's really worth breaking down too much, but to be fair, I do want to show you everything of me, like, you know, like people scoring or not. So once again, right here, triangle call. I end up trying to get to this, not to mention we switched the wrap right here. So I told Waff in advance, boom, I'm taking this. We switched the wrap. Simple. Now I want to take his left away. I tried to set this up for the triangle. As you can see, Salt, great execution right here. Dre a little bit slow on the rotate though, so as you can see, like, don't get that to go. Again, I'm not trying to throw people under the bus, but like and I'm playing with teammates that aren't exactly the most keen to like rotate in the first place, fellas. I don't have nobody on the court besides Kitchen has really like a lot of comp pro-am experience or anything like that. So this is not me playing with the demons of all demons on the, like, you know, pro-am runs. They are great on the sticks though, for sure. It's just obviously we got to get them a little bit more involved in the pro-am runs, in like these complex styles a little bit more. But this part right here that I do actually want to break down, and I'm sorry, I'm pausing and rewinding a lot, but it's what we're here for, right? To teach. So, once again, get the ball out of the point guard's hands, and we switched on the wraps, but check this out. This game, if you want to get bump steals, you got to sprint directly into people. This is not me holding LT or anything like that. This is me truly sprinting into the guy, and let me tell you, you might think this is by accident. I've seen this so many times for myself, and I've learned by this to not sprint directly backwards when you have the ball in the paint. This happens so much, and if you see a guy doing it, all you got to do is just run to him, ball pops out. Simple as that. And as you can see, Kitchen able to recover it. Boom. You might, again, think that was accidental. I promise you it's intentional. I've seen myself have to deal with that many times. And when I see a big man get caged in that paint and he has to run out, it's so danger zone, bro. It's over from that point. Now right here you can see I'm just playing off of WAF. I'm trying to let him just kind of dictate everything defensively. And as you can see though, since WAF was taking away that hash right there and forcing him into the middle, what this is going to do perfectly is allow me to be the help defender. So you can see he cuts off that left. It might look like he's getting thrashed around. He low-key got stuck on the screen. Salt ends up playing high on this as well. He almost didn't even have to. I'm ready to play that pinch for him if the shot were to go up, but since they both get up on this, as you can see, I want to lean back over toward the rotate side since, they both came up for that. So now that sets us up in bad rebound position because Salt had to step up. Thing is, Salt didn't necessarily have to step up because, like I said, with WAF sealing him in on that left side, I'm here for shots like that. I could easily ghost contest it and stay at home on that. Anyway, I fill into our opposite corner. We don't get perfect defense played on the recovery. It is what it is, right? Obviously, we did good execution. It's just we weren't there for the rebound. A lot of things explain with that. He gets me on that front fade right there. Let's talk about where I screwed up on the press right here because he already has me beat, and now I have a chance to get back in front of him. As you can see, I'm playing hands up for no reason. That is terrible defense. No hands up required on the half-court line. I mean, let's be real. He's not shooting from there, obviously, bro, so we don't need to be doing stuff like that. Anyway, as you can see, once again, set him up into the funnel. We get a little bit more of a trap. We end up, kind of rotating off the stack. I don't even think this was a called one, though. I just ended up kind of, trying to fill in where we were losing it. Right there, he tries to no-dip, fails it. Either way, obviously not great corner D in terms of, defending the shot. It is what it is. There's a lot of times in this game where you aren't going to have perfect execution on the defensive stuff. I think that's why I want to stress this point right here even more of why it's important to set a good foundation with the on ball. Now, again, Salt is probably playing very aggressive compared to what he should be doing. He's very high up right here. I have him sealed in on that right side and giving up free slips like that. Not exactly what we're looking for because obviously he could have still hit something like that. Again, I'm telling my teammates, though, on the stack side, wherever I am on ball, that, Dre can be the instinctive dropper. And as you're going to see, something like that happen right here as well. And as you can see, it leads to a contested shot that we get a rebound on and then get out on the break as well. So, and for that matter, too, it was at the end of the half as well. But, yeah, really good key defensive kind of call-outs right here of what I'm talking about, right? Of, if Salt wants to play the middle for me high, I can do that and allow him to just set up for, if he's ever play for the rotate. Again, the willingness to rotate is absolutely what holds so many defenders back in this game of, it could be so simple if you just understand that, on that stack side I'm talking about, if you are the middle help defender and you have already given up the slip, you're not going to recover. I hate seeing people step high for the help defense, get beat on the slip, and then even though they're beat by 12 feet, they still try and recover to the paint. You're not going to get there. So just depend on your teammates in terms of that regard. Because trust me, bro, you've seen plenty of people in the rec, even with the random runs and stuff like that, where they will instinctively drop and help randomly. And let me tell you, you will luck your way into running the stacks on accident if you just do it with your step involved sometimes. If you step to that middle really hard and play the help D and then rotate over to the hash will see that naturally and be like, maybe I should move over to that corner. The corner obviously is already trying to drop on stuff like that. Look at Dre, just randomly dropping off that weak side corner like we were talking about because he sees that he needs to go on something like that. Now, once again, this team's getting back into the game off a lot of missed shots. This is how you know it was pretty far back if you've been reading my Twitter and stuff like that. Bro, this is when I had stick drift on my controller still. It was the first day of it happening and I got an offensive rebound and then because my stick is being held up, it went straight up with the putback. Either way, it goes in. It's still ridiculous though. That's kind of crazy. But anyway, back into the defensive discussions. I just wanted to give you guys a couple of key indicators for just auto rotates and stuff like that. But anyway, right here, once again, I'm taking away his left a good bit, forcing him into that middle. Once again, he has to pitch that ball off to his teammate. Now, Swaf forces middle right there too, and I'm just not there for him, to be fair. Now, I think this is what's tough about the elite of elites when it comes to the scorers, is that truly this is hard to help on right here. A peak shot off the fade. He's not even fading to the middle. He is simply just, as you're going to see right here, literally letting that thing fly in between the screen. It's pretty wild, and this is really hard to stop as far as help defense and stuff like that. So He comes off the screen, doesn't care. He sees Salt is not up on that, so he knows this is a shot right here. And as you can see, boom, fade. He ends up getting it wide open. That is tough, man. 30-foot fade. I mean, what can you do about it, to be real, other than if you just kind of like played, you know, the better on-ball D. But it's like I said, I was trying to have Waff set up for that exact style of defense of setting him up into the funnel to the middle. So anyway, a little bit of ugly rotates right here out of us, and then I have to try and help on that fade. As you can see, they're unleashing that shooting guard right here. Bro's getting the 30-foot fades flying and stuff like that. It's pretty rough. So what can you do about it? I guess what I would suggest in that regard is, like, I want Salt to probably play a little bit more help D for the 2 rather than me. As you can see, I'm back there on the switch though, really clean defense. Probably not really worth breaking down too much, to be fair, but even still, my willingness to switch right there definitely paid off. But I think an adjustment that we should make in a game like this right now is for Salt to focus more on the 2-guard help rather than me. So like anywhere that shooting guard is, he's obviously the much more scoring threat, fade capable, stuff like that, blah, blah, blah. Salt gets a kind of fluky steal right there on the inbound, but then they get it right back, so blah, blah, blah. It doesn't really even matter. Anyway, I do still want to show this though because it's important. On those side out inbounds, you can see I was really focused on taking away that left early. Now off any like motions like this or anything like that, we were still ready to play our sides. Waff ends up getting faded to the corner, but fortunately for him, and this is great on-ball defensive identification from him, when you see that corner clear out, you need to know. You need to know as an on-ball defender right here that your corner is susceptible 100%. As you can see, he gets that jump on the fade to the corner right there because that's what everybody's going to want when they get that corner emptied out. And it just makes the most sense from an offensive spacing perspective. It doesn't make any sense to have to try and move elsewhere because when that corner cuts, he's going to have to replace somewhere else. He's not coming back to the corner very often. So anyway, lots of help D right there, a little bit extreme. It is what it is. Obviously, I don't really like giving up free 2s or anything like that. I don't think anybody should like doing that, but when you're getting faded on by the guard at the 2 right there so much, I mean, obviously it's something you have to like pay attention to. And as you can see, once again, they're expanding their offense a little bit. They're running away from the point guard because I'm focusing a lot of my defense on him, but then like naturally it just has Salt playing pretty high on the back end. It also has, you know, like the 2-guard threat has us kind of rattled as well. This is a good switch by everybody right here. I ended up down low. Those two figured it out on the hashes and stuff like that. It was really like smooth transition into that. Now, this right here was great defense by Waff. I will say I was expecting my guy to be the jam, but instead it ends up being Waff. Now, this is really unexpected. I will say, I think he plays it really well though, getting up on that jam pretty solid, not overplaying it though, but still playing this guy's left. And as you can see, he's gonna get really bumpy with this. Boom, gets the bump steal off of like a dribble move going right into his body. Again, I'm not here to say that the whole credit should be played of the fact that he like forced him middle or anything like that, but he still was on the side that inherently the guards are going to want to run. Like, this guy wants to get right. As you can see, I'm not getting him. I'm not letting him get right. He can't go there, bro. It's not going to happen. So quit asking. But anyway, Dre with a bit of a random drop right there. It is what it is. Like I said, I mean, what can you do? Sometimes teammates are just going to do that. It happens a lot in rec. Unfortunately, the random drops kind of do just, you know, happen. It is what it is. It's hard to really just like sit there and be bored all game, you know, and not do anything. So that's why you like to get your teammates involved on rotates sometimes as well. But anyway, back into the offense once again. Just want to show that whenever we get like, you know, buckets in the half court or something like that, because it sets up for us to play way better half court defense. When teams can't just run break all day and you have to have your matchups completely like unidentified or anything like that, it definitely helps. Now right here, once again, this is like the discussion of the different elevations that I'd be talking about. So like sometimes this is hard for me to play because I'm trying to deny the pass back to the point guard. Ideally though, if I was playing a little bit more lax right here, it'd be way easier for me to play this left-right defense with Waff because I would be at the same elevation as him. If I were to just move my player back to the same spot that he's standing at but further over to the right, then we could just switch this all day. But me getting a little overzealous, trying to be Mr. Ego Man, trying not to let the point guard score or anything like that. This is my matchup type stuff that a lot of these rec heads be on. I know it too. They'd be like, that's my man. He ain't scoring shit, bro. All right, that's my dude. Anyway, that type of looking at things definitely gets me cooked right there, and it's not even Waff's fault if you ask me. If I'm further back, not so focused on denying the pass, which to be fair, it is getting low on the clock. You know, it's 18 seconds right here, as you'll, I guess technically you can't see because it's a stupid preview bar, but it's getting low, as you can see. 18 seconds when he makes that pass. I was trying to deny the pass back. If they get down to 16, it's obviously going to be an 8-second violation. A little bit of a miscue on my part, even though it's not my man scoring. I'd like to take accountability for that type of a shot because I really do think I should be back on something like that. Now, as you can see, playing that right, once again, funneling him in. I mean, if he wants to pull a shot from there, it's not going to happen. I'm still there for his shot. It's just that, like, I'm a little bit, you know, off center a tad bit. Now, once again, great fade. I really do think that whenever that 2-guard has the ball, Salt should probably be playing that middle really hard for Waff so that he has someone to depend on. And then we could probably play a little bit more stack-heavy defense. This is where I really do think rotations are necessary to know if you're someone that's like trying to really stop an elite scorer. I understand, like, if you don't want to even embrace the rotation idea at all because you feel like your teammates can't even handle that type of conversation, whether it's they're too much of casuals or, once again, if you're in the rec and you're playing with randoms or something like that. But I'm telling you right now, if you don't have those rotations ready, you're not going to stop the most elite guards in this game. It's why fives is enjoyable in this game, if you ask me right now, is that you can depend on 4 other defenders in a like small court condensed like area and actually depend on them to be able to play help defense. But in 2K26, if you're playing something like 3s or 2s, you got all the room in the world. If you're going to turn 5s into 2s or 3s, you're playing it wrong. That's just my take, you know? I mean, like, you can't come out here and just play one-on-one defense in a 5v5 court. It's just crazy. So, anyway, that's my take on it. As you can see, we're getting a little bit over-aggressive with the presses now and stuff like that. I start mentioning that my dude has 2 points, and I think Salt took that personally and low-key just, like, actually wanted to aggro him to make sure he doesn't score any more than 2 points. That's not exactly what I was trying to get at, though, to be fair. So just know when Salt's holding my hand right here, it's not what I was intending to do. I still wanted to play legit defense, but you'll see him play up and, like, way more aggressive on the point guard in this late game. I don't know. I guess just to, like, make this guy mad. He's getting rage baited pretty hard for sure, and you'll see him kind of crash out in a second as well. But anyway, right here, solid offense. Once again, Dre with like the wrap up. I have Dishmaster takeover as well. So not only am I, by the way, not really a lockdown. I mean, as you saw, my interior defense is not that good. I'm not running a takeover related to playing lockdown defense or anything like that either. As you can see, once again, Salt's just kind of turbo blitzing. Dre's dropping out at the single side corner. A lot of these things are not exactly how I'd prefer to play them. Once again, Salt's just leaving the paint wide open. It's like a lot of gameplay just devolved late in the game right here, where everybody starts kind of doing things that are not exactly normal. So don't take this too seriously. Once again, you can see him, actually a clean trap right there. And also, unfortunately, bad switch out of us, once again, out of me and Waff. I mean, I still wanted to show stuff like this in the video because I feel like it's stuff that I could eventually kind of break down a little bit better. Look at me. I'm low-key egoing this point guard a little too hard because I'm too focused on his scoring. I'm just like doing the stuff that rec randoms would be doing. I don't know. I don't normally play the style of defense where I just come out here and like, you know, that's my man. He ain't scoring, bro. But I don't know. Truly, if I were just a little bit further back right there, I would for sure have like a better look at, you know, getting those switches with Waff. As you can see, I rotate to the corner though right here. Once again, fade man just coming out here fading. I don't know. Like I said, it's late game, bro. Doesn't really matter too much of these explanations, but I hope a lot of the tips that I showed in today's video can help you guys as far as like your on-ball terminology. Again, Salt is leaving. We're not going to worry about it right now. You can see he's mad. He's real mad for sure. But anyway, point being, I hope some of these tips are actually going to help you guys in terms of you implementing them into your style of playing on-ball defense. Just know whether it's playing with teammates or randoms, forcing them to the middle will help you 100%. It's always going to lead them toward more defenders, and if they get led toward more defenders, I am sure people really don't like to just sit there and stare at their man on defense the whole game. They do like to still, like, you know, allow themselves to move around a little bit. So anyway, that's all. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, feel free to drop a like, stuff, if you're new, turn on noties, all that good stuff. And like always, try to 1 to 1,000 likes. If you made it to the end of the video, you want to show support that you did, put rec or put defense or put D in the comments, show support you made it through. But as you can see, as far as my guy in particular, again, because that's the way I was kind of looking at it in this game, unfortunately, he scores 2 points on 1 for 4, 3 turnovers, couldn't get anything going, had to pitch the ball off to his shooting guard a little bit more, and we absolutely should have had a different defensive mindset in terms of like what we wanted to do when the 2-guard got the ball. But either way, I mean, they score 60 points to our 100. It's whatever. Hardly even matters anyway. But still wanted to make mention of that because in terms of shutting them down entirely, obviously we could have used a little bit more focus on there too. So whether it was the help D that Salt was playing a little bit overzealous, if you ask me, and giving up some points in the paint, or also my lack of switching with Waff a tad bit, or just in general the shooting guard cooking, the dude got 36 points in the average or something like that. But as far as what my matchup did, obviously, like I told y'all, he averaged like 24, ended up with 2. The type of defense that I like to play, I feel like sets up for your teammates to be able to help you even more. So it's just the type of tips that I wanted to give you guys because I do this in Comp Pro-Am, I do this in Rec, I do this wherever. I want to force my teammates into, I want to force my matchup into my teammates and where they can still be my help defenders and stuff like that, yet still not let them look so terrible and stupid or anything like that if they were to try and help, because there is a helper for them as well. So it's naturally just connecting all the dots, and you being the vessel that kind of allows this all to happen is important, because if you were to force that, you know, if let me just come back to a really early take right here. Let's say if I were early on this possession right here after Salt makes the basket, let's say if I were to not be playing the same style of defense right here where I force him to the middle, if I were taking his left away right here, why would I want to take his left away? Sure, it forces him away from the screen side. This is the type of stuff that small lockdowns like 6'6" and below ego locks be doing though, because they trust their ability to maybe recover to this side. So forcing him away from the screen maybe is a fair way to do it. It's icing a screen, right? You just want to take the screen side away, force him to run away from it, and trust in your ability to recover with your speed to be able to guard him. But with me not being able to do something like that, or not to mention, like I said, I just want to force him into my help defenders of my teammates and stuff like that. If I were to take his left away, I can't recover to that right as well. And the only person that can even help me at that point is Kitchen. And if he does help and this corner cuts, then that's just free. There's no one to help Kitchen anymore. So anyway, I guess my point is that I wanted to, as you can see, force the help defense into that area. Not to mention, if I'm switchable in that regard too, now he can do the exact same thing. Salt can play the on-ball properties right here of taking away the right and then force them into Waff and Dre. I can play the back-end properties of just sitting low for the rebound. I mean, hey, it works out. And then as you can see, since he gets broke, I send it right here for going up, and he just kind of fortunately gets that before Dre can drop. I think there were a lot of adjustments we could have made. Dre could have dropped earlier off the stack side. Our stack side in general could get sent a little bit earlier. Our wing could probably like lean toward helping that corner a little bit more, just in case they get dotted as well. And then our back end probably could have sat a little bit lower if we were in like good defensive guarding position. So it wasn't a perfect game defensively, but I just wanted to, you know, show it and also explain things of exactly what I was just talking about right there, of like the funneling, if you will. So anyway, that's all. Hope you all enjoyed. And then take it easy, man. Peace.